Express. Look like the Indiana Fever has hired a new player and development coach.
Everyone thinks they know what the Indiana Fever are planning for the upcoming season, but what actually happened with this new hire is far more strategic than anyone's been told. It all starts with a new coach bringing serious NBA firepower, a move that makes one thing clear: they're not messing around after last year's playoff exit.
Look like the Indiana Fever is shaking things up. They has hired a new player and development coach. Now, I know the first thing y'all thinking, what is going on with Keith Porter? Now, if you guys don't know, Keith Porter to his Achilles while at practice, from what I'm hearing. And yeah, man, he's still on the staff. So they're keeping Keith Porter. They're not getting rid of him. And quite frankly, I think this is a smart decision.
The Indiana Fever just made their first major move for the upcoming season, and fans are already buzzing, trying to decode what this means for Caitlin Clark and the entire roster. They've brought in a player development coach with serious NBA credentials, and the timing makes one thing clear: they're wasting no time addressing the glaring issues that plagued them last year. Keith Porter is staying on despite his tough Achilles injury, but now he's got an elite ally joining the ranks. The question is, will adding more player development coaches actually fix the Fever's problems, or is this just a clever bit of window dressing meant to make fans feel better? Let's dive into the full breakdown, because this move could be a true game changer.
That Rob Dozer is joining our staff as a player and development coach. Rob will work alongside fellow player and development coach Keith Porter. So, as you guys can see here, this is
the Indiana Fever officially announced they're bringing Rob Dozer on board as a new player development coach who will be working closely alongside Keith Porter. This is the very first staff or roster move the Fever have made for the upcoming season, and it's a crystal clear signal that they are dead serious about making significant changes after the way last season ended. Now, making the playoffs for the first time in years was undeniably progress, but getting unceremoniously bounced in the first round brutally exposed the massive chasm that still exists between this team and true championship contention. Rob Dozer isn't just some random hire. He's coming directly from the Mad Ants, the G League affiliate of the Indiana Pacers. This means he's already deeply familiar with the Pacers' sports and entertainment organization that runs both teams, and that inherent familiarity likely smoothed the transition while instilling confidence within the Fever organization that he understands precisely how their entire operation functions. Moving from the Mad Ants to the Fever is genuinely interesting because, on paper, it's technically a lateral move in terms of professional league level. However, the chance to work directly with Caitlin Clark and be an integral part of the WNBA's most captivating narrative right now is probably a far more appealing prospect than continuing to develop G League players who might never even sniff the NBA. And, let's be clear, he was already a player development coach there. Dozer's background is actually pretty impressive when you start digging into the details. Before he joined the Mad Ants for the 2023 to 2024 season, he spent 2 solid years embedded within the Washington Wizards organization. He held the title of Player Development Manager for the Wizards during the 2021 to 2022 season, and prior to that, he served as an assistant coach for the Capital City Go-Go, which, you guessed it, is the Wizards' G League team. So, he's got bona fide NBA experience across multiple levels, which unequivocally means he understands what elite player development truly looks like, and more importantly, how to effectively guide athletes in maximizing their raw potential. The fact that he's been steadily climbing the NBA coaching ranks at such a rapid pace strongly suggests he's exceptionally good at what he does. You simply don't move from being a college graduate assistant to a G League coach, then to NBA organization staff, and then into another G League head coaching role unless people within the industry are actively recognizing your undeniable talent and proven effectiveness. The Fever didn't just pluck some random assistant coach off the street. They secured someone who has been meticulously building a reputation for outstanding player development work within professional basketball. That distinction matters immensely because Caitlin Clark and the rest of the Fever roster desperately need coaching that deeply understands the professional game at its absolute highest level. Keith Porter's continued presence on the staff, even after tearing his Achilles, is also incredibly significant. There was considerable speculation that the Fever might make sweeping changes to the coaching staff following the disappointing end to the season, but keeping Porter demonstrates that they deeply value what he contributed. He was absolutely instrumental in helping players develop throughout the season, and by all accounts, he did excellent work with the existing roster. The Achilles injury occurred during practice. Tragically unfortunate timing, but the Fever clearly believe he's too valuable to let go, even while he focuses on recovery. Bringing in Dozier provides Porter with a dedicated partner to share the workload and ensures that the player development side of the operation doesn't suffer at all while Porter is rehabbing. The timing of this hire is particularly interesting because it's happening in November, remarkably early in the WNBA offseason. Most teams typically wait until after the new year once they've evaluated the previous season before making significant staff changes. The Fever's swift action on this indicates they identified player development as a top priority area that needed reinforcement immediately. They're not waiting around or dragging their feet. They saw a clear need, identified the perfect candidate, and acted decisively. That's precisely the kind of proactive, decisive action that fans crave from a front office that's genuinely trying to build a championship contender. What this move specifically means for Caitlin Clark is worth a closer look. She had an incredible rookie season by almost any standard, but there were areas where she struggled, particularly late in games when fatigue set in and her efficiency dipped. Having an additional dedicated player development coach focused on helping her refine her game, manage her minutes and energy, and develop counters for aggressive defensive schemes could make a monumental difference. Dozier's NBA experience means he's witnessed firsthand how the best players in the world hone their craft, and he can now bring those insights to help Caitlin take the next step in her development. But this isn't solely about Caitlin. The entire Fever roster needs development work. Aaliyah Boston had a strong season but must continue improving offensively and become more assertive. Kelsey Mitchell is a veteran scorer but could still refine specific aspects of her game. Nalissa Smith showed flashes of brilliance but was inconsistent. Lexi Hull needs to expand her offensive repertoire beyond three-point shooting. Every player on the roster has room to grow, and having two dedicated player development coaches means there's more capacity for individualized work. The fact that Dozier specializes purely in player development rather than serving as a general assistant coach is crucial. His entire professional focus is on helping players improve through skill work, film study, and individualized attention. He's not bogged down managing game strategy. He's in the gym, working directly with players. That kind of specialization is invaluable because it provides expert-level instruction on technical skills rather than generic coaching. His Wizards background is also relevant. Despite the team's struggles, the organization has a solid history of developing individual players through a strong developmental system. The G League experience is equally valuable. It's a laboratory for player development where coaches constantly innovate. That mindset translates perfectly to what the Fever need as they aim to become a legitimate championship-caliber team. The attention this hire has already generated shows how invested Fever fans are in the team's success. Fans now understand how crucial strong coaching and development infrastructure are to winning. The Fever have clearly recognized that and are investing accordingly. The social media response has been overwhelmingly positive, with fans applauding the proactive approach to addressing weaknesses. There's a recognition that while last season showed progress, it also exposed limitations in construction and coaching. Making changes to fix those issues shows that the front office is paying attention and willing to evolve. This is almost certainly just the first move of the offseason. The Fever will likely make additional changes through free agency, trades, and the draft, but starting with infrastructure improvements like this shows smart prioritization. Build the foundation first, then add talent. The connection to the Pacers organization through the Mad Ants also creates opportunities for knowledge sharing and collaboration. The Pacers have a strong record of developing players, and having someone who understands their system could benefit both teams. For Caitlin Clark, having coaches with NBA experience means she can learn exactly what separates good players from great ones. They've seen elite point guards up close and can show her what it takes to reach that next level. This hire also sends a powerful message that the organization is serious about winning. Players notice when a team invests in success, and adding another high-credential coach shows the Fever are aiming for championships, not just playoff appearances. Having the new staff in place early means Caitlin and others can start working with him sooner, building relationships and personalized plans before training camp. This early preparation could pay major dividends when the season begins. Overall, This hire reflects a broader trend in professional basketball, investing in specialized development and advanced training as key components of success. The Fever are following that blueprint by hiring professionals who can maximize player potential. By officially adding Rob Dozer to their player development staff, the Indiana Fever have made a strong statement. They are building a championship-caliber infrastructure around Caitlin Clark and the rest of their talented roster. This is how championship teams are built, by investing heavily in coaching and development before the season even begins. Hit that like button and subscribe, because we'll be tracking every move the Fever make as they turn immense potential into tangible championships.